I'm Jasmine Anderson. 24 Long Island school districts paid about $30 million to settle sex abuse allegations. Macy Egland and Jim Boundback have the story you'll see only in Newsday.
You know, he dropped my pants. He ripped my clothes right off of me. He's a pedophile. He was a sick individual.
Michael Seltzer feared going to school every day, never knowing, he says, when the principal would pull him out of class and sexually molest him in a dark, hidden corner of his school.
I'll never have relief. I'll always have to live with this.
It was a secret Seltzer kept hidden for decades. Scarred, he says, from the abuse at the hands of Principal Anthony Perkillo from 1974 to 1977 at Earl L. Vandermeulen High School, which is now Port Jefferson High School.
And I thought my entire life I was the only person involved.
But Seltzer now knows there are others who say the same thing happened to them.
And here I'm walking down the hallway and goes, I need to show you something. And that's when it started.
Seltzer and 6 other victims, one of whom spoke to us anonymously, have come forward saying they were abused by Anthony Perkillo, the principal at the high school from 1960 to 1984. Finally telling their story and filing claims under the Child Victims Act and suing the Port Jefferson School District with the help of attorney Anna Cull.
As the highest ranking official at that school, his acts were within the scope of his authority, and they should be imputed to the district.
Our Newsday investigation has found more than 200 similar lawsuits against many of Long Island's 124 school districts. In some cases, dozens against the same district. Jim Boundback has put together a database on those numbers.
So far, 37 of them have settled with districts paying between $5,000 and $8 million, and that's funded by taxpayers.
Cold Spring Harbor recently voted to liquidate a $7 million capital reserve fund to pay multi-million-dollar settlements to 2 female victims who say they were abused 40 years ago. That money would have been used for future construction projects. In Bayshore, one man is at the center of 45 separate lawsuits. 75-year-old Thomas Bernagazzi, who lives in Babylon, is accused of molesting young children 5 to 13 years old for 3 decades. He was working as an elementary school teacher in the Bayshore School District at the time. Now, Bernagazzi is one of the few people accused who are still alive. He denies the allegations, and the district has countersued him in all 45 cases. We knocked on his door. There was a car in the driveway, but no answer. No response to our phone calls either.
Please leave a message and thank you
His
for
attorney also would not comment. The victims we spoke to, more than anything, want those who hurt them or allowed it to happen to take responsibility. They also want to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else.
I'm a survivor, not a victim anymore. And I want this over and done with so I can move on and settle down.
It's a permanent scar. You can't see it, but I feel it every day of my life.
Reporting for NewsdayTV, I'm Macy Egland.
Watch part 2 of our special investigation tomorrow and read more about it on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. The House vote to expel indicted Long Island Congressman George Santos may be pushed until tomorrow. A House Ethics Committee report found substantial evidence Santos repeatedly broke the law. However, House Speaker Mike Johnson says he has reservations about expelling Santos, but says GOP leaders will not push colleagues on how to vote.
We're going to allow people to vote their conscience. I think it's the only appropriate thing we can do. We've not whipped the vote, and we wouldn't. I trust that people will make that decision thoughtfully and in good faith. I personally have real reservations about doing this. I'm concerned about a precedent that may be set for that.
Santos is facing a 23-count federal indictment, but has not been convicted of a crime. We have a team of reporters down in D.C. You can read the latest on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. A hunt right now for the masked gunman behind an East End robbery. Police say the suspect forcibly took about $20,000 from Latinos Multi-Services on East Main Street in Riverhead. No one was hurt. Long Islanders are remembering former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger today. The diplomat dominated foreign policy under Presidents Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford as the United States extricated itself from Vietnam and broke down barriers with China. He died yesterday at 100 years old. Israel and Hamas have agreed to extend their ceasefire as more hostages were released, including an American. The temporary truce was extended another day, minutes before it was set to expire. This is video of some of the 16 hostages arriving back in Israel, including American mother Liat Atzili from Connecticut. U.S. officials say 8 more Americans are being held. Israel also released more Palestinian prisoners. Free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Hundreds of pro-Palestinian demonstrators rallied near the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree ahead of the lighting in Manhattan last night. The NYPD telling us 7 people were arrested after clashing with police. New hope today, despite another die-off of Peconic Bay scallops. Biologists say a recent upsurge in nearby Mauritius Bay scallops is a good sign. They say those scallops may be more resilient. Now they are looking to possibly move them into the Peconic Bay population.
But the idea would be is that we can increase natural selection by introducing these genotypes that might occur naturally over time, but very slow. And we'll plant in high densities, and we'll try to get it to just speed up quicker so we can bring back bay scallops as a viable harvest.
The value of commercially landed scallops, which reached a recent high of $1.5 million in 2018, dropped to $382,000 in 2022. A major quarterback comeback. Aaron Rodgers is back at Jets practice. The former MVP was on the field yesterday. There he is. The team opened the 21-day practice window by which they must decide whether to activate him from injured reserve. It comes less than 3 months after Rodgers suffered a torn Achilles tendon. He's still rehabbing, but reports say he could return Christmas Eve when the Jets play Washington. They would have to still be in it, which who knows. An East End holiday tradition unlike any other, decking out the big duck. 3, 2, 1. Dozens of families braved the cold and flocked to watch the iconic Long Island icon be lit in lights in Flanders last night. It was the 35th annual lighting of the 20-foot big duck. Santa Claus also made an appearance with some help from the Flanders Fire Department. Further west, tens of thousands of people gathered in Manhattan to see the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree light up. The 80-foot Norway spruce from upstate will remain lit until January 13th. For more on holiday happenings, just go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Checking out your hyperlocal forecast. Sunny today, highs around 47 degrees. Tonight, we drop down to the 30s, winter-like temperatures. Tomorrow, rain returns. We get warmer with highs around 52 degrees. A look at your 7-day forecast coming up.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Home Tax Saver, PTRC Incorporated.
An emotional reunion on our island. A Holocaust survivor just returned to the hospital that gave him a new heart to celebrate his 100th birthday. Macy Egland has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
Like a new man. Fantastic. Unbelievable.
Jack Batile of Bayside just celebrated his 100th birthday and is here at North Shore University Hospital to say thank you to the team that made it possible.
Obviously, when we met Jack, right away we were, of course, just charmed and taken by him.
Jack had life-saving surgery here 5 years ago when his aortic valve was 98% blocked. It had become calcified with age and made it really difficult for him to breathe. They had to replace it without the use of open heart surgery, and Jack told his doctors if he made it to 100, he'd expect a free haircut. Today, they delivered, bringing in local stylist Jamie Mazzy.
Don't cut too much.
At the time of Jack's surgery, the procedure
sensor was very new.
They wanted to make sure when the technology was new that they were going to use it on someone that had stood a chance of surviving. But the second he walked into the office, you meet Jack Battile, you know that this is a man that wants to live and knows how to live.
Jack is a Holocaust survivor. He was imprisoned for years at 6 concentration camps and liberated when he was 22 years old. He moved to Bayside in 1960 and went on to become an incredible artist, still creating as a centenarian. He says the key to living a long life is being a good, honest person and eating your fruit.
Try to eat fresh food, particularly oranges.
Jack's success story prompted the hospital to continue offering the minimally invasive valve replacement technique, and they say they've now saved thousands of other lives.
I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm alive. Thank you, Dr. Rutkin.
Reporting for Newsday TV, I'm Macy Egland.
Happy birthday, Jack. Read more about Jack on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
What's Up on Long Island is brought to you by PC Richard & Son.
It's Friday Eve, so here's what's up on Long Island.
It's a spectacular for the whole family. You're going to love it.
The Holiday Spectacular on Ice is coming to Bellport. The family-friendly musical on Ice stars U.S. figure skater champion Nancy Kerrigan, along with singers and dancers. There are performances tomorrow through New Year's Day at the Gateway. Head out to the Charles Dickens Festival, the old-fashioned outdoor celebration with trolley rides, a parade, and characters from A Christmas Carol returns this weekend. It's all around Port Jefferson Village. There's the Freeport Holiday Boat Parade. You can watch the holiday decorated boats sail along the Woodcliffe Canal on Sunday night. For admission info and more events, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box on our homepage.
Information about communities is lost if you don't have local reporters, and if there's no one reporting, how do you know what's going on in your community?
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
I'm Jasmine Anderson. Thank you so much for watching. We'll leave you with a look at your hyperlocal 7-day forecast.